guest on here at the Virginia Outdoor Sportsman Show, Elizabeth Brownell. I've actually been following you for some time now, and I know you know Jared and Katie, and through Beakwhackers Waterfowl. But it's been awesome seeing your story. And now you have Rookie Hunting, and you have the Onset Podcast now, which is kind of what we're going to promote today. Is a new podcast out, so go listen to that. You can find that on Apple.
Yeah, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, all the things.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, let's just jump into who you are a little bit, and then a little bit of your story, just a snapshot of the Rookie Hunting, and like you have a really neat story, so it'd be cool.
Yeah. So my name is Elizabeth. I'm 27. I'm from Fredericksburg, Virginia originally, and now I'm in the Northern Neck. And I kind of used to pursue sustainability through a plant-based diet, and then COVID happened, and I realized I think it's really important where our food's coming from, and I don't think anyone else should be in control of that except for you and your family. And so that kind of led me to start hunting, and originally I went out hoping just to learn and maybe understand it a little bit more. I was more interested in how to actually get meat from an animal and what that process would look like. I didn't think I was gonna fall in love with it. I didn't think I was gonna even like it. I thought I was gonna cry the whole time and just hate it. And, but it was just, everything I thought I knew was wrong, and it just kind of went from there. And I decided to make an Instagram at first just to document what it was like for an adult to start hunting out of nowhere. I knew a lot of people did it with their families, and they started it as a family thing when they're young. And so I didn't know anyone who was my age. I was 24, and I didn't know anyone that was what does it look like doing it on your own or doing it with other people and then learning. So I expected, just to have a little Instagram account and just, just for myself really to document it, and again, keep it as a kind of a little diary of what it looks like and milestones and how to do things. And then it kind of just kept going, and it's still going. And then I kept going on other people's podcasts, and there's not too many female hosts in the hunting industry, so I was you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. I was I kept kept having people tell me to do it, and so I was just I'm just gonna try, I'm just gonna do it. So
well, I think it's a great idea. And so real quick, the reason why you were more of a plant-based diet, was it an emotional connection with you? For
sure, it was an ethics thing. It was
right.
Yeah, it was an ethical thing, and then also sustainable kind of thing. I didn't, and I think mass industry farming is kind of kind of a sensitive topic.
Hot topic.
Yeah, hot topic for sure. And so I think that's why hunting was so easy for me to justify, if that makes sense. Because then I was okay, well, this is an animal that isn't being bred, to be consumed. It's just an animal that I might not even have a chance to kill. I feel like it's a very fair thing.
Fair chase,
fair chase, and then also, and it's not guaranteed. I feel I loved that about hunting. It's no matter how many hours you put in, no matter how much practice, or no matter how many times you go out, even there's no guarantee. Which I, as a non-hunter, I did not understand that. I thought it was a very every time you go out, you kill. Yeah, and it's half the time I'm just bird watching, and I'm well, okay, still a good day, still a good time. So.
Yeah. It's funny talking about that. So statistics wise, we do a lot of deer burger in my house. The girls like the burger. We can do a lot of different things with it. But over the last few months, the one statistic that's just funny to me, because I come from an agricultural background, farming background. 80 or 90% of grass-fed beef, so grass-fed beef, which is a big push, I think still a lot of people's diets, is imported. And I couldn't believe that. All the cattle that we have here, even with the mass farms, the big farms that we have and stuff like that, that industry, why are we importing grass-fed beef? And what does that look like for me and my family? Yeah. So being able to take that diet and move it to a deer-based diet or axis deer or whatever it is, I feel it's been a really great health benefit to my family, but also I know where my meat's coming from.
Yeah.
So how has that been how's that transformation been for you? I mean, obviously it's got to be really rewarding now that you know the process, you've done the process, so has it been great?
And I feel I always liked cooking. I always enjoyed that aspect of it. So hunting, it was just easy for me to. It was just really easy again to justify it. I think when you see an animal that's alive and then you harvest it, and then you take it home, and then I know a lot of people do processors and stuff. I just feel I don't know. I feel like I can't trust it,
Right.
and I feel like since that's how I started.
Am I getting somebody else's deer? Or
yeah,
am I not?
like it's just a weird thing, and also
Right.
it's like I'm trying to learn how to do more things with the animals. So like I'm trying to make like purses out of like deer hides, and
That's
I'm trying
awesome.
to make candles out of like the tallow. So
Right.
it's like I'm just trying to bones like broth out of the bones. Like I'm just trying to learn. Every single animal I take, I feel like I'm trying to learn how to do more things with it.
Right.
And again, like that's like even more rewarding. It's like,
Yeah.
but especially when you're like looking at your plate, I think, especially when you're feeding other people.
Yeah.
It's like I know exactly how this animal died. I know I took it home. I know I processed it. Like I know, I love looking in my freezer and seeing like ducks from the winter, deer from the fall. I see like turkey from the spring.
Did you ever think this was ever going to be your
No,
lifestyle?
No, never, absolutely not. I pictured myself being a little like vegan, like homesteader. To be honest,
right.
Like, that's what I pictured, and so now I still want to do the homestead thing, and I was able to, harvest my own
Right.
turkey for Thanksgiving like
Yeah.
2 years back, and so I want to start doing meat birds, and I want to start. I just don't want to go to the grocery store
Right.
as much.
No,
I
that's
feel like
awesome.
that's like a really healthy. I think it's a rewarding way to live, and
Yeah.
I think more people should like think about where their food's coming from.
Exactly.
Who
Yeah.
you're depending on. Too.
Yeah, exactly. So all this has led up to the Onset podcast. How many episodes are you in now?
Two.
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 No,
Yeah,
that's
this is a
good.
baby
No,
podcast.
that's awesome.
I decided to do one every 2 weeks.
Okay.
I just like full time job.
I tell you,
and I'm just
I get it.
I didn't want to commit to a week and then
Right.
get overwhelmed. And the 2 weeks is going great, and then I have time to I've done like 2 interviews a week, but now I kind of have them set up to
Yeah.
where it's like I can release them on my own time.
Right. No, that's awesome. Yeah. I do one a week and sometimes 2 every Monday I release, and I tell you, it's a lot of work. It's
Yeah.
dedication, but I enjoy it, and I know you like sharing your kind of your hunting testimony, if you will, and everything like that. So I'm sure that the podcast will be a success. So one more time, where can everybody find the podcast and your Instagram?
Yeah, so my Instagram is at Ricky_hunting, and then the podcast is at the Onset Podcast. So
Yeah.
definitely, I'm not just trying to interview women. I'm trying to do everybody and
Yeah.
just share everyone else's stories and how we can relate. And it's not just going to be hunting either. It's going to be just like the outdoors in general
Yeah.
and like how, like what it looks like for new people to get into it.
Right.
And, just go
That's
from there.
awesome. Well, Elizabeth, I appreciate you getting on.
Yeah,
We should
absolutely.
do a full episode soon.
For sure.
We can
Thanks
line
for
that up.
having me on.
Yeah,
Like,
and
I
I hope
appreciate it. This is long overdue. I feel
I
like
know, I know.
Jared kept talking about you, and I was like, I know I'm gonna. And then at the banquet, I left that night, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was like, I literally forgot to introduce myself.
Yeah, I did
Like,
too, and I apologize for that. But I met Sean. I can't think of his last name, but he's with the American Bear Foundation Virginia chapter. Met him last year. We were going to line up a podcast. We still haven't. He was supposed to be here this week, and he broke his back or something happened to his back, so he's in the hospital. So I don't even get to see him now. But
Yeah.
so I'm glad we got to sit down and
Yeah,
talk,
for
and,
sure.
and I
Yeah.
think we'll have some more conversations later on.
For sure. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it.